Welcome to Tank Tuesday, folks. This is our 300-gallon aquarium. We've got two pet bass, Bonnie in the back. We got Clyde over here and Sheriff hanging out. That's our big bluegill. And this is the first time in a while that we've put more minnows in there than they could eat. And as you can see, we've got little schools of them up there on the top. Poor Bonnie's ate so many that I think she's about to explode. But we're heading out of town for a couple days on a fishing trip, so we wanted to give them a good feeding. We'll watch how they react for just a second. You can see kind of Clyde's guarding his little batch of minnows over there at the top. Sheriff's always interested, and I don't think Bonnie could eat anything else. But I enjoy just sitting here after they eat and watching how they interact with each other, especially when there's still bait in the tank. We got bait at both sides of the tank, and that's what I really enjoy watching is, you know, what triggers these fish to eat one more minnow. And I think what Clyde's doing right now, he's not even hungry, but he's just guarding the minnows that he's got. He could easily turn around and eat any of those minnows right now, but he's not. So this is a time that I enjoy and I learn a lot from the tank. But now we're going to redirect our attention to our 55-gallon tank and our other two smaller pet bass. Alright, if you're new to this channel, now it is time to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you can watch every Tuesday as we do new experiments and feedings with these bass. But the newest member of the family is on the left, and we named him McCoy. Moby's on the right. You can always tell he's happy and friendly. And we're about to go over some feeding clips with these two bass. Alright, now we are going to do a live bait test. We got minnows and worms. We're going to drop them at the same time and see which one they prefer to eat. Alright, Liz, let's go now. Alright, so Moby got the minnow. Oh, and he got the worm. Man, you are one hog. The other bass is hiding out. He's right over there. Let's drop him another worm in. Oh, man, Moby ate that one too. He's got two worms and a minnow in his mouth right now. He's a hog. This other bass is a little bit too shy. I almost don't want to drop much more in there because he'll end up eating too much. I've already seen his belly before. It'll poke out. But we need to get that other one out. Yeah, there he is. He's coming. So if he comes out over here, we'll drop him a worm in. Alright, now they're both eating pretty good. I'm going to see if the little guy wants a little bit more to eat. Moby probably doesn't need any more to eat. So let's see if we can drop it back from behind. He smells it. There it is. He doesn't see it yet. Alright, let's drop another worm in. That's a big one. Both of them are going to have a time with that one. Gosh, Moby's going to try to eat it. Moby, why do you eat so much? Alright, no more feeding for him. Let's drop one in while Moby's got that in. I know Moby can't eat anything else. The other little bass should be able to get that one. Yep. Worked out good. So Moby's got a full belly. The other little bass got him a couple worms. Worked out good. Liz is going to drop a minnow in. We got to juke him out. We got to act like we're going over here. Man, he's so fast. They barely hit the water before he has eaten them. This will be the first time that the new bass has eaten a minnow. Moby's got a mouthful right now. We're about to drop another one in. See if he'll eat a minnow. Moby tried, but he's got a mouthful. New bass hadn't even seen it yet. It's a chase now. That's the new bass. He's caught wind of him. He's not near as fast as Moby is. We'll see if he catches up to him. He's chasing around the backside. I think he's a little bit too big. Alrighty folks, I may have made a mistake. So we got two pet bass. We just tried to feed them each a minnow. I dropped one minnow in. Of course, Moby eats it right away. Second minnow I drop in. This bass decides not to eat it because it was a little bit too big for him. So we dropped him a couple worms in. But the other minnow was still swimming around in the tank, and now Moby has eaten 2 minnows. He is also, when we were dropping worms in for the other bass, he also grabbed a worm. So he has a minnow, a worm, and another minnow halfway in his mouth. He looks like a 10-pounder right there. So this is what a normal bass looks like at that size, and this is what Moby looks like. No comparison. Alright, so now we have something special for you guys, and you all have been asking us to feed our pet bass live bluegills for a while. So we went out and we caught some, and we're about to feed them those. But first, I want to show you what our little mischief fish get into. So we got this little bluegill here that's been fanning the bed, and he just happened to fan it right where our Stonehenge was, and it's almost collapsed. But look at how much he fanned that little area out. He has a major area of substrate on both sides. Alright, I got my buddy Corey here. He is going to help us catch some bluegills for our pet bass, Bonnie and Clyde. A lot of you guys have been asking for that for a while. So we got the cast net out. I know there's some bluegill right here in this area. We're looking for some small ones. Look at there. A little on the big side, but let's get some smaller ones. Oh, maybe a little on the big side. Possible. Yeah, that one right there for sure. Good job, Corey. And yeah, that right there is going to be perfect. I'll spin that thing. Maybe. That's a B-. Man, look at what Corey's got. Bonnie and Clyde are going to say appreciate it. That's perfect size right there. Yeah. Yep, perfect. Alright, here they are. We caught 4 bluegills, and as you can see, we have a couple really small ones and a couple that are pretty decent size. They're not very big, but I had to strike a deal with Liz. She said that if we were going to feed them to our fish, we had to pardon one of them. So Liz, which one do you want to pardon?
The big one.
The big one?
Yeah,
right.
So Moby won't try to eat him.
Alright, so the way we're going to do this feeding is, rather than dropping these bluegills in with a net like they're used to, I'm going to be sitting here in a chair, and I'm going to get Liz to just come around this corner right here and drop one of them in the top right. So they're probably not going to see it coming. That way we'll also get to watch it and see how they naturally react to it, and it won't just be something dropping out of a net and them feeding like they normally do. But I have a feeling Bonnie's been looking for something other than a minnow for a long time, so I have a feeling Bonnie's going to get the first one. So one other thing I'm interested in seeing is how Sheriff reacts. I know that bass will eat their fry, but I'm interested to see if Sheriff would try to eat one of his own kind. Alright, Liz is about to drop it in. Oh, Sheriff doesn't see it. Bonnie sees it. Oh, Bonnie got it. I knew Bonnie would. Whoop. Whoop. Bonnie spit it out. Sheriff's trying to eat it. Goodness. Sheriff, there's no way you're going to be able to eat that. That's too big for you. Alright, we're going to do this experiment one more time. Liz is about to drop it in the top. Let's see what happens. I think that Bonnie may have gotten a fin or something. They're so used to eating those minnows, they've never probably felt a fin. There was something that made Bonnie spit it back up. But of course, Sheriffs will never give up. Alright folks, so this little brim survived Bonnie, Clyde, and Sheriff, the savage tank. So we're going to take him out and put him in the micro aquarium. So Liz, let's go ahead and try to grab him. Scoop him out of there. There you go. Go ahead, you got him. So let's put him in the small tank. Alright, I know that Moby's probably going to try to eat him whenever we drop him in, just because he tries to eat everything, including McCoy right there. But we're going to go ahead and drop him in, and he will be the new brim in the micro tank. Oh, that's a good size too. He's almost the exact size of Moby and McCoy. So somehow we ended up with a new bluegill, and we were supposed to go get bluegill for Bonnie and Clyde to eat, but that's some bluegill feeding gone wrong. For some reason, they just don't like it. You can see Whiskers back there in the back checking out the new bluegill. But as always, guys, we let you all name them, so we have a new pet baby brim. You guys leave us a name on what you think we should name it. It survived the tank. We tried to do what you guys wanted us to do and feed our pet bass bluegills, but it just didn't work out, so we got a new pet. But now it's time that we feed these two guys. They're two little amigos. They love each other now. They're almost twins. They're about the same exact size. We're going to go ahead and feed them. But right now we're going to roll through some of the questions from last Tank Tuesday. Alright, first question comes from Tammy Stewart. Tank Tuesday inspired my son to raise pet bass, and one of them had babies. Great work. So if any of you have been inspired by our channel to get an aquarium of your own and raise pet bass or bluegills, if you have any video clips of them, send them to us and we may add them at the end of one of our Tank Tuesday videos. Next question comes from Anthony Suvanasing. What temperature is your tank for the bass? We usually keep it around 78 to 80 degrees. That's what the bass like the most. Next question comes from Ryan Ingram. BamaBass, I'm having trouble getting my new pet bass to eat. It's been about 6 days now and he won't eat anything. Do you have any tips? Ryan, what you need to do is put some live bait in there, preferably something like a small minnow or tadpole, and that way the bass can eat when he gets ready. And also keep the tank lights off. The darker it is, the more comfortable they'll feel in the beginning. The next question comes from James Stevens. The 300 gallon is looking a little barren. Did you take out some plants? Well, no. Our pet bluegill Sheriff took out some plants. He goes around and roots them all up, and so we've had trouble with that. But we actually have one plant, some clover, that's doing pretty good around Stonehenge, so I think we're about to go back in and plant some more clover. For some reason, it stays pretty good, but as you see in our 55 gallon aquarium, when the fish are really small, you don't have any trouble growing the plants. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below on what you want us to name that new pet brim, and as always, hope you enjoyed it, and see you all next Tuesday.
We're pretty looking people, but I can tell you people they were the devil's children.